You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel. We're now going to be talking on the phone all about the River Voice Choir. Firstly, thank you very much for talking to us. I was hoping you could introduce yourselves firstly.
Yes, indeed. My name is Mena Turner, and I'm a member of River Voice, and I'm on the committee, and I tend to do most of the advertising. Would you like me just to say how I become involved?
Yeah, that would be really good.
Okay. Yes, River Voice is quite a relatively new choir. I myself have belonged to different groups and choirs over the years. And then I met up and sang with a lovely young lady called Claire Fruin. Now, Claire Fruin works, she's got a sight impediment, she's visually impaired, and she works for the Kent Association for the Blind in Maidstone. Her singing tutor, the lovely Tanya Holland-Williams, is a music curator, a mezzo composer and a director. Now, they met, and it was the lovely Tanya that initiated the idea, in conjunction, should I say, with Claire and the KAB, to initiate the idea to reach across the disabled and non-disabled communities, ensuring that music is made accessible to all. So, now this is before I came on board. I kind of just heard about it through Claire. Anyway, a series of workshops were set up. They were funded by Medway Council's Small Grants Programme, in conjunction with River Voice and Claire with the KAB. They loved the workshops, and it continued as a non-for-profit group. I came on board then, and we called it the River Voice Community Choir. So that's how it all started, really.
Now, I know you next want to talk a little bit about inclusive learning, I think.
Correct, yeah. I've always sang, as I say, with other choirs, and we've always used our music in our folders, but as you can imagine, with sight impediments, we can't do that. Now, that made me feel a little bit, how is this going to work? But as I say, Tanya's amazing. She's a brilliant director, a very talented lady, and we tend to just listen and learn and repeat and record. Therefore, we don't need to be accessible to a musical score. And because we listen so intently to each other, it actually works really, really well. And it's turned out to be a lovely little choir, actually. So a lovely group. Okay. Are
you looking for new members and volunteers?
Oh, we would love new members and volunteers, yeah. We practice each alternate Saturday morning in the lovely St George's Centre, Pembroke Gate in Chatham Maritime. What else can I say there? And also we as a community choir, we try and put on, obviously, as many concerts locally as we can. And also we put on a series of, of a series of workshops, and in fact there is one coming up locally on the 23rd of May, and it's called the Voluntary Arts Event. That's at the Royal Engineers Museum, Prince Arthur Road in Gillingham, and we are there there's loads of other art things going on, local arts things, but we are there to promote the choir and new members and volunteers. So, yeah, the workshops tend to carry on throughout the year.
I was going to ask you to tell us a little bit more about the workshops, if you could.
They're professionally run by Tanya, and anybody that sort of gets a bit excited thinking, oh, maybe I'd like to sing, but I'm terrified, I can't read music, as was with myself about 20 years ago. But it's a lovely, friendly group. They're welcomed. Tanya takes us through a series of breathing exercises, voice exercises, very professionally done, I have to say. And then she will just take us through certain songs, and then we put a little scratch performance on at the end of the workshop. So very, very interesting and lovely. And then nine times out of 10 people would come back if they enjoyed it. That's how we've got quite a few of our recruits.
So what about the connection with Joinin Voices?
Now I have lovely Wendy back sitting next to me here. Wendy is the chairperson for from Rainham Ladies, and we were fortunate enough, River Voice were fortunate enough to meet and work with Lynn Bunce last summer. Now she's the Deputy MD of Rainham Ladies. Therefore, the connection was made. So I'll now pass you over to Wendy, and she will continue with the lovely concert that's coming up. Thank you very much, Daniel. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Hello, Daniel.
Hello. I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about the concert.
Okay, well, perhaps I should start by telling you really where it came from. It wasn't my idea in the first place. A gentleman called John Keynes came up with the idea. He's a member of, or certainly has been a member of, Gillingham Male Voice Choir, which for many years has been a kind of brother choir to Rainham Ladies that I sing in, because they were both originally started by the same lady called Joan Bigwood.
Right.
So there was always been a connection between the two choirs. And John came to a concert at which Gillingham Male Voice and Rainham Ladies were singing with some other choirs. But that was a completely different situation. The choirs were coming from quite a wide area. And John came up with the idea of us doing something similar, but with local choirs. So basically a sort of Medway-based joint venture between a number of local choirs. So it started off with himself, kind of on behalf of Gillingham Male Voice Choir, and connecting with us in Rainham Ladies Choir, and then inviting various other local choirs to get involved, including, of course, River Voice.
So was there anything else you want to get over to the listeners?
Well, I think this is, from our point of view, this is something completely new. Obviously, in a sort of choral musical world in the Medway towns, lots of us have come across each other, and we know about each other's choirs and might have heard and seen each other singing. For example, Rainham Ladies had performed in the past with the Vision Signing Choir.
Okay.
So we had a connection there, and we knew how excellent they were, and how interesting it was to watch them actually signing, because I believe they use British Sign Language. They certainly use signing that's accessible for people with a hearing disability. And it's absolutely fascinating to watch them interpret a song. And in the past, Rainham Ladies had sung and they had signed with us, so we knew about them. So as I say, we all had connections through the sort of choral musical world, but it's the first time we'd all got together and promoted something between ourselves. So I think we're finding it quite exciting, and it's breaking new ground from our point of view. And as you say, we now have 6 choirs on board. Not just Rainham Ladies, but also Gillingham Male Voice Choir, River Voice, the Vision Signing Choir, but in addition, Kingfisher Singers, who are a local mixed choir, and the Marlowe Singers, who are a ladies' choir, who are based slightly more towards the Gravesend direction, but have Medway connections as well. So John, in fact, sort of kicked the idea off. I think it was around about June last year.
Right.
He kicked off the idea and got a group of us together to sort of throw the idea around, and then connections were made with more choirs, as Mena has said. Lynn, who is our Deputy MD and on the committee of Rainham Ladies, she already had worked with River Voice, so had a connection there. As I say, we'd worked with Vision Signing Choir. We know the other choirs, and we invited other choirs to join us. And we finished up with the 6 who are actually all going to be performing on the 9th of May together.
I was wondering if you could just let our listeners know more about that on the 9th of May.
Okay, well, as I say, there are 6 choirs, and we're actually performing to raise money for the charity Help for Heroes. So that's the general idea. We'll be running a raffle on the night, having collection, and obviously any profits from the concert will go to Help for Heroes too. The actual format of the concert will be, we will start the concert all singing together, so there'll be upward of 100 people together performing Adiemus. That's all of the singing choirs plus the signers. So that will be an exciting opening to the choir, to the concert. And then there will be sets from each of the choirs separately. For all of the choral pieces, there will be individual signers interpreting the music for people with a hearing disability. For the joint items, as I say, we'll all be together, including the signers. And then we have a finale with 3 songs which we will join together, the choirs will join together and sing to finish the concert. And obviously our last piece, which we think is quite appropriate for a Help for Heroes concert, will be Wherever You Are, which was made famous by the Gareth Malone. So it was originally made famous by the Military Wives Choir.
So if people would like to go along to that or find out more, is there a way they can contact you or look on the internet?
Yes, we have a Facebook presence as Joining Voices.
Right.
We also have an email address if people are interested in obtaining tickets. I can give you that. That's joiningvoices.tickets@hotmail.com. Or there are a couple of telephone numbers they can ring.
Yeah.
Those are 07816 159 668 or 07979 693 205. Oh, actually, I've just realised what I should have told you. I really must tell you this. I mentioned that John Keynes, who's a local singer, started this all off and kicked it off. The reason he has handed over to me as the coordinator is he's actually been fortunate enough to obtain a new job. I think it's 4,000 miles away on the island of St Helena, and actually is leaving the UK before the concert. Hence why I've actually taken over and coordinating the thing now.
I'd just like to give you our treasurer from River Voice, her email address. I haven't got her number, just her email address. In connection with the workshops, she would deal with that.
Okay.
Okay. It's Tamara Gummer, so her address is t.s.gummer, that's Gummer, number 2, @hotmail.co.uk. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'd like to also give you the River Voice chairperson, Claire Fruin, in case you needed to contact her at all. It's Claire Fruin at kab.org.uk.
Well, I'd like to thank the both of you very much for telling us all about what you're doing at the moment.
Well, we'd like to thank you very much.